Welcome to day 457 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DeSoFi. So, Brian, there's some activity going on with crypto miners. Do you want to kind of explain what's going on?
Yeah, so as most of you probably know, mining of Bitcoin or other cryptos become profitable when the amount you get from mining is greater than the energy cost and the fixed cost of the GPUs that you have. But what we've been seeing over the course of the last week or two, our miners are selling off their GPUs at pretty extreme discounts. I know that some of the GPUs that usually go for about $800 have been selling on eBay for as low as $300 or $400 used, uh, which is pretty low. Also, the rise of energy prices around the world has driven some miners to decide to sell their GPUs because the Bitcoin price is going down, meaning they're earning less from mining if the number of miners are equal, but the energy costs are going up, so they're earning even less. So usually there's a push and pull until there's an equilibrium where the miners are selling these GPUs, other miners are buying them at more affordable prices. Miners drop out, so the reward for each block increases, and we hit an equilibrium. But something that others have noticed, not I haven't really been paying too much attention because I'm not in mining myself, but others have pointed out that usually when these transitions happen where miners begin dropping out, miners begin selling GPUs, usually that indicates a turning point in the crypto market. So it's very possible that this dive down to like the $17,000 range for Bitcoin might have been the bottom. Uh, if you base it off of other other crashes and other times we've seen miners begin to drop out like this, it has signified a bottom. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot still depends on this economy. It depends on
Inflation,
inflation. It
yeah.
depends on oil prices. It depends about the war in Ukraine. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that it depends on still. So you can't really say we've hit a bottom just based on miners. But I think maybe things are starting to turn around, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't go back in the wrong direction again if, say inflation spikes up even more than it was last month. Instead of hitting a peak, maybe it's still going up. That would be a bad sign for the economy. And I think you probably see more falls in the stock market, more falls in the crypto space. We know there's going to be a 75 basis point increase likely by the Fed next time. But if inflation keeps going up, they might even say, "Oh, we're going to go up a full 100 basis points." I don't know. I don't think any of us can really say for sure. That's why if if we knew the answers, we'd all be buying crypto or selling crypto right now based on what that answer was. So nobody can predict the markets, not even the best people out there.
Right.
So let's move on to DeSo NFTs. They're still hot. NFTs on the DeSo blockchain are still selling like hotcakes. Metaphilosopher, the big crypto NFT whale who has been buying up a ton of DeSo NFTs, continues his buying spree. Just yesterday, he slash she, I don't know if it's a he or she, they, I don't know, bought a Goosey's NFT from Miss Katie Ann for 60 DeSo. And he or she also bought Other Worlds NFTs from Spunk Art, Unicat from Peking, and F'd Up Punks from your NFT dealer. And he or she also bid on some Other Worlds NFTs and Illuminati NFTs, which weren't accepted yet, but will likely be accepted soon. Uh, the one Illuminati NFT that's been really hot and that Metaphilosopher has been bidding on has been the hands made Rowdy Reptilian, which is really, really cool. Uh, if you're familiar with these NFTs, the Rowdy Reptilians was a really unique OG series on the blockchain. And yesterday, Illuminati, Chris, he released a special hands made Rowdy. Of course, this is based on the Supreme Court decision to, overturn Roe versus Wade. Uh, so, you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of activity for sure. I even saw Natter get involved in buying some NFTs yesterday. Um,
Nader bought a
I
decent one.
Yeah, I hope that we see this continue because I think that there's potential here for the DeSo market to really kind of flourish, especially once they integrate MetaMask into
Yeah.
DeSo, which I'm going to talk about right now. DeSo, once again, they teased the fact that they're going to integrate MetaMask. They didn't give an exact date. I'm guessing it's probably weeks away at most, based on what we heard a while ago. Uh, they said that 21 million people, that's basically who use MetaMask, would now soon be able to access DeSo without pretty much any friction at all. It's going to make onboarding Ethereum users a lot easier. It's going to make Ethereum users it's going to give them an incentive to kind of check out DeSo at least. Hey, I can integrate MetaMask, bring everything over here, create a profile for myself. In that profile, I can do whatever I want. And I think that's going to be powerful, especially if other nodes start doing things that cater towards Ethereum users. I know that NFTZ is going to be doing some things there. We're excited about that. So it's really good timing on that front.
Yeah, for sure. I know at NFTZ we were considering of creating some sort of MetaMask integration with NFTZ, and now DeSo's doing it. So I think it's gonna like just give us all the tools we need in order to do this integration, and it's gonna make our development go a lot faster. Probably maybe even like a month faster than it should have been. So we're grateful to DeSo and the core team for moving in this direction. I'm sure other developers out there who are building on DeSo are as well, because the ability to bring Ethereum people to 21 million person Ethereum community into the DeSo blockchain at a click of a button, I think is going to be huge. Again, we had to wait and see. We thought that other things would be huge for the blockchain as well that haven't turned out to be so big. So we'll have to wait and see, but it looks very positive to us. So Cloudcast has an announcement. We haven't really heard of Cloudcast for quite some time, but they said they have an announcement of a new product that they're releasing soon. And they said they're taking all of their learnings from Web3 ads and pointing them at Web2 social. So I can't imagine what this is referring to. Do you have any ideas, Brian?
I don't. I mean, is it going to be at all DeSo related? I don't know. I mean, they could just be going in a whole other direction. But I know whatever Jason Devlin and Smart Alec are working on and the whole team, I'm sure they really
Awesome
have
devs. Awesome devs on the
yeah,
team.
awesome Dev. I'm sure they have a great plan. I hope it somehow ties into DeSo just so that DeSo can benefit from it all. But I guess we'll see. And I know that they've been learning a lot along the way. They've been building on DeSo for close to a year and a half now. I guess about a year and 3 months, and been doing great things. I can't imagine how many things they've learned about just ad platforms, Web3, and all of that. And if they can turn it to Web2 and flourish, I think that's great for them.
Yeah, and like you said, Smart Alec and Jason Devon, we had a chance to meet both of them a couple times, or at least once, I think. Maybe it was just once. But they're great guys, and what they're doing on DeSo has been tremendous. They're OGs of the platform, and I mean, Smart Alec, he's like one of the smartest people you ever meet. Jason Devlin, he's pretty smart too.
Yeah, and he has a great plan for an airline one day.
Yep. All right, so what's been going on in New York, Brian?
Yeah, so NFT's New York City is still underway, and Matreshka met up with some other DeSo OGs. She met up with Malsified, it's Aditya. She met up with Jay Lamb and Dal Two Deets too. And finally, William Laurent, who she's met several times in all these events. I know we all got to hang out in LA a few months ago, but it looks like they had a great time. It's nice that Malsified got to meet some of the OGs of the community in New York. I wish, like I said so many times, I wish we were there. Matreshka said she was posting the image just to make us jealous. So thanks a lot, Matreshka.
Not very nice. So Cash Grab by Ryan Nelf is now up and running. And for those who don't know what Cash Grab is, it's a it's a gamified NFT series where the right owner can win the grand prize. So level one just started, and there are 10 editions for level one NFTs with a starting bid of $1. I believe all 10 have sold on the primary market. But in order to advance, you need to own two editions at the same level. And then if you own two editions of level one, you'll be eligible to purchase the next level's NFTs. But you can only buy one edition on the primary market. So all 10 have sold, but there's 10 different owners. None of them have two editions yet. So how the game works is that you need to buy your second NFT for level one on the secondary market. And there's a whole Telegram group where you can kind of like talk to other people, trade, figure out how you're going to get that other edition so that you can move on to the next level. It seems like a fun game. I haven't had a chance to participate. I might. I had to wait and see. But I love what Ryan Elf did here. I love how it's gamified NFTs. So it's another way to kind of get the NFT market lifted on DeSo.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of about like a little bit like Octopussy.
I was going to say
Um,
the same thing.
yeah, of course, there's not as many of them, but I think anything that can kind of get people excited about NFTs, and this is a good time to do it since we're seeing all this activity. I think it's good for DeSo in the long term. It's good for the DeSo NFT space in the long term. I mean, running NFTZ as a co-founder, I did not see this DeSo NFT phenomena happening anytime soon, and it's great to see. I think it's getting people excited and it's bringing people back to DeSo who might have kind of took a break for a while.
Yeah, and it's also given us a chance to kind of fix some things with NFTZ. Like when you don't have a lot of people using the platform, and we didn't have people trading NFTs on DeSo for several months, you can't really test out features or like see like what features are the most wanted and what ones are kind of like not being used. But now we have that ability, so it's giving us a chance to really build NFTZ.me out in many more ways. Like we said earlier, we are in the process of doing this integration with other chains. So we still plan on doing that. And the lull gave us time to really think hard about that, come up with some really cool ideas that nobody else is doing. So we're going to do that. But we feel like what we're doing, it's going to be such a benefit for DeSo because it's going to bring Ethereum people and Solana people into into the DeSo ecosystem. And we really think it's going to work. But the fact that DeSo NFTs are picking up as well, I think it's going to work even better because people will come on and see like, oh wow, these DeSo NFTs are trading really well too. Maybe I should get into buying some of them.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. So talking about NFTZ, I want to mention the 10 people who had the most NFT bids in the last 24 hours. And once again, metaphilosopher's number one, followed by Vindictive TJ, Vampire Campfire, Dowbank, Kevin Sod, BitClout FR, NF3, Ollie B, Cat Collector, and Mythil. So those are the people that are buying up NFTs on DeSo. Hopefully, we see some more added to that list over the next few days.
I think we've started to see like this trickle down effect. And I think it was Ali B who said it that he sold some NFTs to Meta Philosopher, and now he's taking a bunch of that money and buying other NFTs. And then likely those people who sell those NFTs to Ali B are going to get money and maybe invest in other NFTs, buy other NFTs. So there is like this trickle down effect. You hear about the trickle down effect in economics a lot. More conservative politicians and economists talk about, you give people at the top a lot of money and they're going to spend that money and it's going to trickle down to people who of lower income brackets or just stimulate the economy, I guess you could say. I
Yeah,
don't know if I fully agree with that theory. I think I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, but it is working on DeSo, the trickle down effect.
yeah. Or you could compare it to just the government giving out stimulus checks during COVID, and that money just constant being worked through the economy, and the velocity of the money picks up so that more and more money is being spent. And that's how we got a lot of the inflation that we have right now, which we're trying to fight, I guess.
Yeah, like I think that whole thing with the stimulus, Trump gave a ton of stimulus before the election, and Biden gave a ton more. And you know, I think Trump had two or three stimulus checks. I think two, and then Biden had this gigantic one as well. But at the time, it seemed like we needed it because it seemed like COVID was going to be around for a lot longer. But almost immediately after Biden's last stimulus check, COVID kind of subsided. So I think probably Biden's stimulus check and at least part of Trump's last stimulus check was too much for the economy. And there's too much money in the economy, and prices are going up because people have so much money and the supply of goods aren't there. So there's so much more money bidding on the smaller supply of goods that causes the prices to increase. That combined with the fact that the Federal Reserve has kept interest rates so low for so long that there's just there's been a vast ability for anybody to just borrow money at such low rates that even put even more money into the economy. They're actually printing money essentially. So I don't know how we got into that
It's
discussion,
like
but
economics 101 right now. We were both economics majors, so this stuff kind of interests us, I guess. But yeah, I think it's interesting what's happening. I think there's going to be a lot of lessons learned, a lot of future politicians maybe pushing for other ways to kind of stimulate things after seeing what happens
yeah,
here. And
I think COVID was just so unpredictable. Like,
yeah,
and I don't know if I can say COVID was as unpredictable as was the ability for the economy and for the American people and really for people all over the world to bounce back as soon as, COVID numbers subsided, people were able to get vaccinated, feel safer about going out and spending their money again. I don't think people realized how quickly that was going to happen. And I don't know if there's really anybody to blame. I think it was just like a science health phenomena that took place that, we haven't really been through before.
yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of blame going around, but I don't think really you can blame either the past current administration of any nation around the world who's experiencing what we're experiencing right now. But I want to move on to the top diamond creators of the last 24 hours, thanks to Altum Base. And these are the people that have earned the most diamonds by making posts and replies over the last day. Krasenstein, we were number one. Now, and let me back up. I hope that one day I do this list and we're not up there, because that would say that the activity on DeSo is expanding and growing. So I don't like reading my name on here. It doesn't really do much for me. So get our name off of here. So Krasenstein was number one, followed by Now and Then, followed by Vampire Campfire, Lil Lover, Sean Slater, Brutal, Effed Up Cats, Mashelin, Longo, and Quanti. So congrats to all of them.
Yeah, congratulations. And I think that's all the news we have for today. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you tomorrow.